Hey, welcome back to the Joyful Life with KJ podcast with KJ and
Hi, it's
Bonny
me.
Clapp.
Woo, yay.
Hi, Bonny
Yay.
Clapp. We
Hi.
were just talking about brain farts and how they smell like bad decisions. I said we should have been recording for that. Oh my gosh. So last week's podcast, we talked about diligence. Diligence through no results. When you're not seeing the results of your hard work, what keeps you diligent? We talked about Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. That to me, that little sentence right there is everything. If we do not give up. If we give up, we're not going to reap anything good, are we? There's not going to be due season. We're not going to reap the good if we give up, if we do not give up. And that's so much more than just our health journey. We'll talk a little bit more about other things, but I we talked about our stalls and how both of us lost 70 pounds, and now here we sit, not losing 70 more pounds.
Yeah.
Both of us want to still lose. I want
Please.
to do it all over again, you
Please and
know?
thank you.
Yeah, my ultimate goal is to be healthy, and I'm sure that's the same for you. I'm sure you, Bonnie,
Yes.
could say, I don't care about being a size 8. I care about being the healthiest version of me I can be. But at the
Yes.
same time, you want to see the results of your hard work. You want to
Sure.
see the good come from it. And I want to see my closes. This is the Redneck Podcast with KJ. I want
I
to
want to
see
see
my
my
clothes.
clothes' smallishness.
Right,
Yes.
right. I want to see them get smaller.
Y'all don't hate on us. I can do that. I'm from Tennessee. It's all good. She ain't got no
Right.
excuse.
I just do it naturally because I'm from Maine. Oh gosh, I want to see the fruits of my labor. Now, my labor is probably not what it could be. My labor could be more laborious, but it is
Glorious.
not. But at the same time, I'm working hard to make sure my nutrition is good. I want to see the results of that. I don't care if I stand in the mirror and see a size 8. I just want to stand in the mirror and say healthy. And right now, what I see when I stand in the mirror is I can truly say this with all of my heart. I see a child of the king. I see a beautiful woman who loves her husband, who loves her daughter, who loves her friends, who loves her clients, who loves the people she's met on social media. I am a loved human being, loved by my creator, created custom design. I'm a custom design, Bonnie. I
Well,
You don't pick me up at the Walmart, okay?
you're
I
at
am
least target material,
That's
Kate.
right. I'm Target. No, I am custom creation. I am made by a mighty God who loves my design. He didn't necessarily choose my shape. I don't stand in the mirror and go, "Okay, God made me fat and I love him for it." No,
No.
I made me fat. Okay? I'm not fat. I'm not saying those words, but we all speak that to ourselves, right? We all at times stand in the mirror and go, "Ugh, I'm fat." God didn't make me fat. God made me as a beautiful creation. I haven't always made the best choices with my body. I can
Right.
remember being oh my gosh, this is such a memory. I think I was maybe 12 or 13 and mom and I were on yet another diet, or probably near the beginning of my diet times with my mom, and we were going to the church, getting in line at the church basement to get on the scale so Bertha or somebody could write down our weight on our little card and file it away and say how we had done, and then we'd go in and we'd have our little meeting to talk about our week. I remember that vivid, and it was only a matter of mom trying to get healthy and trying to make help me make good choices. It wasn't meant to be diet culture and the damaging impacts of constantly talking about diets with our kids, not just health, but dieting. I don't think it was as understood in the 80s as we now see the impacts as adults of that diet culture. So I can remember being in that basement and we were on at the time, a low fat. It was low fat. Not we'd done low carb at one time or another. Weight Watchers, Richard Simmons' Deal a Meal, which was totally my favorite out of anything I'd ever done, because it was fun and Richard Simmons is the bomb. But him and I can relate. Can look, I need some striped short shorts and a 1980s exercise
There
video.
are
I think
there are some visions that don't need to be seen,
you
darling.
know he does sweat into the oldies. I think I should come up with a dance into the 80s
Oh
exercise
my.
video with KJ. I mean, would you
That's
do that?
one project you're not pulling me into.
I think that would be awesome. So anyway, I remember being in that basement weighing in, and we were allowed to eat 20 grams of fat a day or less. Okay. So we
Oh,
could eat as many carbs as we wanted, but 20 grams of fat per day or less.
wow.
So what did we eat? Snackwell's fat free cookies, let
Oh,
me tell you. And we
um,
could eat a sleeve of them. We wouldn't eat a serving, we'd eat a sleeve because it was 0 grams of fat. So I spent my whole life putting in foods that literally caused addiction, literally caused damage to my gut health, my organs, caused me to have slow, sluggish metabolism, slow thyroid, all of these things. At no fault to anyone, not my mom trying to get healthy, not me trying to get healthy. I was just following, you know, the guidelines of what was seen on TV as what was right. Well, we know better these days.
yeah,
But now I'm dealing with the repercussions of that, right? Of years of unhealthy choices, whether I knew about them or not. So, I knew in the last few years the unhealthy choices I was making. I knew what I was doing when I was eating Chinese food with extra egg rolls and crab rangoons until I felt sick. I Those are choices I made intentionally and knew what I was doing to my body. But I also spent years in taking foods that I believed were good for me, not knowing the difference.
right,
Now I know better. And because I know better, I'm adamant to do better. I've seen where those choices have brought me. I've seen the pain in my joints and I still deal with them today. But the difference now is I'm not fighting for skinny. I'm not chasing skinny. I'm fighting for my health. I'm fighting for a healthy retirement when that time comes and not 24 hours a day in my recliner because I can't move. Those are the things I'm fighting for. And that is why diligence in this journey is so important to me, whether I see the benefits right now or not. My mindset, my mindset is to look in the mirror and know that I'm loved by God.
right,
God, the creator of everything. I can
right.
look outside my window, I can look at the trees and the amazing creation that the trees are and really look at them. If you really look outside your window or into nature anywhere and you really look at it, not just go, "Oh, it's a tree," but look at the design of a tree and the way it blows in the wind and the beauty that is in a tree. And I can look at that and know that I am created by the same God that made that amazing tree. And how much more important am I than a tree? Okay. That mindset is what has kept me focused on this journey, despite the lack of results at the time.
Right. Right.
What are your thoughts on that, Bonnie?
Well, I thought of another verse that goes right with what you just said, which is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for
Not for
men.
men.
So you're doing this journey to the glory of God, and you're not doing it for people, including for yourself. You're doing it for God. You're doing it because you want your temple of the Lord to be as healthy as it can be. So
Absolutely.
we keep going and we keep doing those decisions one right after another diligently, even if we're not seeing results in the mirror right away, because we're working this for the Lord, not just for the praises of other people going, oh, look at you. You look so cute.
You looking fine.
It's not for the approval or the praise of anyone around us, including ourselves or our own. It's our self-esteem is not centered in what we see in that mirror anymore. And that's a huge thing for me. And a minute ago, when you were talking about how you used to eat, the delicious Chinese, which sounds really good right now. I thought
Luckily, I have a class on how to make healthy Chinese food.
those are good.
Plug. Check out my website. I feel like I do
I love you. I thought in
that.
my head when you said what I used to eat myself sick on Chinese food. And my question was, do you know why you did that? But that's probably another question for another podcast at some other point, because I feel like that's a whole other rabbit trail we could
Yeah.
go down, where we're trying to fill a hole and we're
Yeah.
trying to fill a need, or we're trying to replace something that's going on internally, because you're not naturally wired to look at food and go, I want as much of that as possible and to make myself sick on it. That comes as a response to
Yeah.
something. But that's
Yeah.
probably another discussion for another
I
day.
think that's a great discussion for another day.
I think that's a really difficult
Tune
discussion.
in next week.
I think I might want to hide from that one. Oh, the realness. Oh, what have you
Right?
gotten me into? Good gracious, York. Oh,
It's so easy to become vain in the journey of weight loss when people say things like, "Oh my gosh, look at you. You look so good. You've lost so much weight. Look how great you look." There is nothing wrong with complimenting people and how
no.
well they've done, because the
Sure.
outward is a picture of the hard
Yeah.
work they've put in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but that it's very dangerous when that becomes your focus, because when things don't continue to change, it's easy to just say, "I'm done. I'm out. This isn't working anymore. People aren't complimenting me because nothing's happening. I'm out." That's a very dangerous path to go down.
So that means where does my reasoning for doing all of this lie? It has to lie for something. It has to be for the praises of man, or it has to be for the glory of God. There's really not any
Yeah,
in between
there
when you
isn't.
right at it. You're either living for other people or you're living for his purposes. It's one or the other. And if you're living so that you can look at yourself and look in the mirror and go, I feel good today because I feel skinny. Well, that's a feeling and that's arbitrary and it's going to come and it's going to go. But if you know in your heart of hearts that you can say, well, I've made every decision today to the glory of God to do right by my body, because this is the body he's gifted me with. And it is a miraculous creation, regardless of how I feel about it in the moment. It's a miraculous creation. You're right. So doing the right thing in the moment, making the right choice, eating the right meal, not eating the wrong meal, not eating too much of the right meal,
Mhm.
not putting the cheese on your plate, KJ, not putting the half and half in your coffee. I'm just saying. Hey,
Mhm.
that's Bucket campaign forever. Not okay. So frying up that squash and putting it on that plate, good decision. Blending that squash in the blender, questionable morals. Just saying. But
I'm
in
pretty
the
sure it's in
moment,
the Bible somewhere that you're
oh
supposed to
yeah,
do
it
that.
is. Thou shalt not make any graven images. Blender. You've basically killed your coffee. That's kind of like in the grave. So graven image. It might be a little bit of a stretch there. It works
A
in my
little. A
theology.
little.
It works in Coffee 101. Okay. Anyways, I digress. Making those decisions in the right moment has everything to do with saying, okay, Lord, I'm going to let this be to your glory. And even if I have to set my face like a flint and say, okay, I'm choosing this cucumber to the glory of God instead of that third piece of dark chocolate. No, I've never had that conversation with myself in my life ever last week.
Since last week.
Just saying. Those are the little choices. Like I said before, those are the little choices add up to, big changes.
Yeah.
So if you're working hard and not giving up, if you're working heartily for the glory of God and not to man, then that means as you put one step forward, you're making the choice to do what you ought to do by yourself as opposed to maybe what your taste buds want to do in that moment. And that's where the rubber meets the road with this lifestyle. There's a lot of joy in it. There's a lot of amazing alternatives that we have now that we didn't back during your deal meal days. And
Right.
it's not like Snackwell's is the only option.
Right.
Anything anymore. THM opens a plethora. That's a big $5 word.
It is.
Plethora of options for us. You can look at anything on the internet these days and go, oh, well, that looks really tasty. How can I THMify that?
Yeah.
And Dollars to Donuts, KJ York, or one of her amazing admins will find a way to figure out how to THMify that.
Right.
So it's not like we live without any, it has to be a bland desert of carrot sticks and agony.
I love me some carrot sticks and agony for snack.
Carrot sticks. I tend to not enjoy agony as much. But it's not like we're left without options anymore. You know what I mean? This life really can be joyful, and you really can lay your head on the pillow at the end of the day and say those small choices I made are going to add up to health. They're a benefit that I'm sowing so I can reap into my future.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we so often fall into the expectation of quick, that this has to be fast in order for if this isn't going fast, it's not working. And that's just absolutely not the case. This journey to health is just that. It's a journey. At the sake of sounding cheeseball, it's a long journey. And if I wake up today, start a new diet, and lose 70 pounds in 3 months, yay for me, but it's probably not going to stick around. The
Right.
difference between a health journey like Trim Healthy Mama and the quick fixes, it takes time. Healing happens throughout, and it's not just physical healing. I have gotten like mental and spiritual healing through my journey with THM. Absolutely. And my weight loss, even when I hit a wall, my weight loss is going to kind of stay pretty much there for a while before it starts to move up. It's not like when you drop 70 pounds quickly in 3 months and then all you do is smell somebody's cheeseburger and you gain 5 pounds. I've been on those diets before.
Oh, yeah.
I've been on those diets before where you take one bite of an unhealthy food and the next thing you know, you wake up and you're like, wait a minute. I had one French fry and I gained 8 pounds. How did that happen? It doesn't happen that way when you lose weight slowly. So slow weight loss is a good thing. Stalls are something to be worked through. And it doesn't just mean that you need to clean up your journey. There are other things at play. There are food sensitivities, there's hormone issues that need to be worked out. A lot of people have thyroid issues and don't even know it. I'm recently discovered that I have a very slow thyroid, but am struggling with the whole finding the right doctor and getting the right treatment and all of that. I was on a thyroid pill and started losing my hair. And listen, Bonnie, KJ is not going to look good without hair. That's just all there is to it. I mean, my hair is my, dare I say, crown.
AJ looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. Although the rest of us really don't want to look on KJ as bald. So there's
Right. And I just don't want to be the bald, like missing big chunks. And that's what was going on with this thyroid med. So
well, I know what I'm doing while you're asleep at that retreat. Packing my scissors.
Yeah. Prepare to die. Oh, all right. Well, let's let this go for this week. It's nice chatting with you. Speaking of retreats,
It's
shameless
coming
plug.
out. In July.
Yes, July 13th through the 16th in Bangor, Maine. If you are not registered, you have a couple of weeks left to register. But well, by the time this podcast plays, probably have about a week to register. You have until May 15th to register for this retreat if you want to come. You can make payments. There's a payment plan. It's $459 plus your room. And of course, your travel costs to get here because I ain't coming and picking you up. You got to find your own way here. It would be really weird if I ran and picked everybody up for this retreat. But if you fly in, I'll find a way to get you to the hotel room. I'll make it sound like it's me taking care of that, but it's actually the shuttle at the hotel that will get you to the hotel. But you're gonna get to visit with all my admins. You get to meet the Bonny Clapp. Now, if that's not a reason to come, I don't know what is, right? Totally a reason to come and maybe even get an anti-squaffy campaign sticker if you
Oh yeah.
ask.
Oh yeah.
There will be teaching and games and so much fun. There's going to be it's all catered. There's going to be a thing, an excursion. There's going to be an excursion to Bahaba. If you ain't been to Bahaba, Maine, you ain't seen beauty. Going to jump in a little bus and ride down to the coast of Maine and check it out down there. And then we're going to have church together. I have some things lined up for that. And then we're going to have a little more teaching before you go home. It is going to be an amazing time. Use proper English, KJ. It's going to be an amazing time of fellowship, fun, and serious laughter. You guys, there is going to be lots of laughter because Bonnie Clapp's going to be there.
Oh yay.
All
I'm
right, you
so
guys.
excited.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.